Prospective diaries that I'm going to read on here after I'm done with the diary of Allie McCullough. Although I can still do explication on Allie and the people she knew, and I do plan to do, what's that called when you expand on the topic? Annotated, an annotated version of her diary. Of course, I don't own her diary. It's owned by the Ypsilanti Historical Society, but I do own the picture, the photo. So there's that. But in June, it will be coming to an end, the diary. So lest some other diary or remembrance by her comes to light, that will be the end. Prospective future diary readings. Save. This diary would probably be the most likely, since this trip, which a trip out west it's called, was written into a Star Trek The Next Generation personal log, and our trip out west, June 27th till, and we don't know. But it starts here, and it's a bit of nostalgia from 1996, it looks like. It goes from June 26th. June 27th, it says, but I think it starts on the 26th. No, June 27th, and it goes until July 10th. So basically a 2-week diary. This is the most likely one that I'm going to read next. Obviously, it's not very detailed, and it's just going to be some kind of happenings along the road, etc. I don't think there's anything else inside this. No, there's nothing. This one, A Daily Reminder, is a diary for 1960. And this guy, from what I remember, and the writing's really small. I believe it's all in pencil besides these, or most of it's in pencil. No, I'm wrong. It's just in faint pen. Is a fairly interesting one. This guy was in boot camp, I believe, and he was having a tough go of it. I assume a lot of this just looks like prose. It's like angry young man feeling sorry for himself, babbles incoherently. So it's that kind of thing. And then this looks like poetry. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty hard to read. Fire Prevention Lecture. 3 classes of fires. Oh, those are just notes. MI rifle. 5 fundamentals of firing MI. What is MI? Mortar. And then you see, oh, he ripped out a few pages. Look at this. Between March 31st and April 4th, he ripped out some days. What's this say? Something writing out. Hasn't. I don't know. And anger to an unanswering face of, yeah, see, this is pretty hard to read. What does that say? Pulp? A perp? Don't know what the trouble is, but feels sicker than hell. Threw up once in formation. See, this guy's in boot camp, I believe. In formation, help on getting dizzy. At about 11:15, I passed out. My buddies took me into the bar. I guess that's the barrack. Oh, it's the barracks. Bar ache, he wrote. And I fell asleep, thereby missing half a day of training. Sergeant, what does that say? Was real mad. Sergeant, whoever, maybe it says Danny, was real mad, but there wasn't much he could do about it. I should have gone on sick call in the morning, but I had to play the rough devil may care type. I now regret it. Tennessee woke me up at about 3:30 to go down to the something station. What does that say? There, I found out that I qualified for language school, so I shall now forget all about OES, and after my advanced training, go on to that language school. Perhaps I shall take Russian. As of yet, I do not know. I have also been thinking of taking Japanese. I shall see what happens when the time comes. John. Could be Jan. We are Aboriginal descendants. No, you're not. Your name's fucking Tamla. When I first... Anyway, that's this diary of this guy. Small flake had just begun to form in the night. This must be poetry. Insomnia, walks, meets bra, holds conversation of real red bleach. So yeah, it's a lot of blankness in here, but there are some entries. Since the Neolithic age of years ago, when men were men and women women, men has, through the instinctive need of self-procreation, sought to consolidate into a conglomeration of masses ranging from the minute to the macroscopic. So yeah, there's that one. There's the trip out west, the barracks boy, and then there's this one from a grandmother, a mother and grandmother. And she writes from 1991. I won't show you her name because I'm probably going to keep this one anonymous since it's kind of fresh, even though it's 34 years now. This is about 6 months before her husband died. I think he was 80 at the time of his death, and they were about the same age. So she was 80 at the same time, and then it goes until about a year before her death in 2000. And the passages get sparser and sparser to once or twice a year. Till within about a year of her own death at the age of 92. Yeah, this is a year and a month before her death at 92. I read a few little passages upon the death of her husband, and she said that she had married him 18 years prior, so they would have been in their early 60s. So obviously it was a late life marriage. But she's probably the most coherent of the three. Although this one really doesn't need to be coherent because it's just a trip out west by some family. And they were unfortunate enough to donate this Star Trek personal log to the thrift store, and I found it. So I got a 50-cent bonus. I probably would have bought the journal if it was empty, but since it had some writing in it, I took it. got up in Eureka, Missouri, about 25 miles from St. Louis. Went to breakfast with Jen. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Nothing too exciting. Would be nice to know the people's names so I could see what happened to them, but then it kind of get creepy. This lady's journal, I know this diary journal. I know her name. I know when she died. I know where she's buried. Same with this guy, who I won't show you his actual name, but there is one discrepancy on here. His tombstone says he died in September of 1991, but this is in memory of the little thing you pass out at the funeral says he was died in October. So I'm not sure if the tombstone's wrong or not. But as an 80-year-old, well, she would have been 90. When did she die? She died in 92 in like 2002. So she would have been 90 at the turn of the century. And she does talk about all the things that changed. Not all the things, but she mentions the things that changed in the new millennium. She also mentions a big storm in Minneapolis. The baby Lauren was born to Trent. So like I said, I'll probably just make this anonymous, and then when it comes to names, obviously you probably can't read this as I'm reading it up here. So I will just pre-write these out because I have time in between since they're so sporadic. And just block out names. But for now, this one is likely going in because, as I said, the Ellie McCullough diary ends soon. And this one will be a quick, breezy 2-week read. And that'll be done with. I still can't find my old farmer's diary that I think I've given away to somebody for her birthday. But I don't know. I can't find it anywhere, so I assume it's gone. This lady wrote quite a bit in the 12 years that she diaried, although for 12 years' time, it's not that much writing. It's only a half a book. But it encapsulates her later years, 80 to 92, her husband's death, and then I believe she had to move after her husband's death, and that's how she came to the Detroit area from I'm not sure where. Obviously, she mentions Minnesota, and then I believe she's buried somewhere in Wisconsin, so Midwestern lady. And this guy, it's hard to know what to do with this one. I figure I'll go this one first, since it's breezy. This one second, since it encapsulates 12 years of a woman's life, and I'm not going to read it for 12 years. And this one will be started next year in January. Exciting times. New Year's Day. I am what I am because I am. If I weren't what I am, I would be what I'm not, which would be absurd. Yeah. See if it shows his name in here. Appliance buyers needed. I don't think it puts his name in there. Public holidays. Phone numbers. It would seem that he was in the Air Force. Or maybe I'm wrong. Does that say? Beverly Day. Jeff Fritz. All right, that's all.